Working for Microsoft, and then in my spare time, I'm a researcher. I'm affiliated with MIT's Comparative Media Studies program.
Okay, what kind of research do you do?
Basically on all different topics related to video games.
Could you name some of the researchers?
Oh yeah, looking at how user-generated content affects video games. So many of your listeners and your watchers are probably aware of a game called Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike?
Yes.
On the Xbox?
It's a PC-based game primarily. It's available on other platforms, but Counter-Strike is a very famous example of user-generated content. And so I've been researching that, and I've also been researching a lot about how advertisements can be put in games and how games can be advertisements. And also researching how video games can be used to teach people things, actually, video games for educational purposes.
Okay, you wrote a book. Could you name some of the conclusions of the book?
Well, the book had a lot of conclusions, but it was primarily designed to convey three things. The first one was that games can be used as very interesting ways of advertising. And so, for example, not simply promoting a brand, but actually gathering useful information for the advertiser and for conveying useful information to consumers. So the example that I was discussing earlier was in a game called Metal Gear Solid 4. There's an iPod, a virtual iPod in the game. And it's not that you just see it.
Could you show it on the screen?
Sure. Let's bring it up. There it is.
Okay.
Right there. And in the game, it's not that you just see the iPod, but you can actually manipulate it and play songs on it and you listen to it throughout the game. And the nice thing about this is, unlike in a television commercial or in a magazine or anything like that, where you look at it and then you're done, here you're actually having an experience with the product. You can actually learn how it works. And that's just one of many examples of how an advertisement in a game can be superior to an advertisement in any other channel.
Right. Gaming nowadays is about experience.
That's right. It's all about the experience. It's about interactivity. Whereas every other media is one-directional, games are two-directional. So that's a part of the book. One of the other conclusions in the book is that you can use games to teach people very important things, give them virtual experiences that would be expensive to learn in the real world. And of course, the simplest example of that is a flight simulator.
Like which one?
A flight simulator. So for example,
could you name an example of one?
That's what I'm. That's
the Microsoft one?
My MS Flight Simulator is an example, right? But
I know many others.
There are many others, but of course the point there is that what would you rather do? Learn how to fly a plane in a video game, or learn how to fly it in real life? Probably, if you jump in a plane for the first time in real life without ever having had training, you're going to crash. So you do it in the game instead, and that's we have, of course, more examples related to business.
So gaming is like simulating life nowadays.
It can be in some games, and in other games it's not so much of a simulation as opposed to an analogy or a metaphor, for lack of better words. But there's a lot of different ways, bottom line, that you can use video games to teach people. And I think your watchers will be familiar with some of the more commercial examples, like in Brain Age, which is a famous Nintendo game. You've played Brain Age enough, you'll probably get better at math, for a very young person. That's just one of many examples nowadays about how you can use video games, not just for entertainment, but actually for educational purposes and for training purposes. And then the third part of the book is all about using video games for improving productivity in the workplace. In other words, how can you use game ideas to make work more fun?
But why should marketeers use in-game advertising nowadays? Why?
Like I said earlier, one reason is because it's a very good way of teaching people about your brands and your products in an interactive way, in a way that's not possible in any other channel. I think the other reason, frankly, is because it's quite cost effective. You can expose people much more frequently and much more often to your brand in a game for a certain amount of money as compared to most other channels. And I think the third and also a very important reason is that there's certain demographics, like the young male demographic, that are becoming harder and harder to reach through traditional channels like television and movies and so forth and so on. And they're playing a lot of games, and if you want to reach them, that's one very important way to do it.
It's like behavioral targeting?
It's like what?
Behavioral targeting, you know the marketing phrase?
I do. I'm not sure that I would consider this more behavioral or less behavioral than anything else. I think that it's certainly more interactive.
Okay, finally, where can we read more about your research?
Oh, you can read about it on my website, which is www.edery.org. And actually, the book that we wrote has a website also, which is changingthegamebook.com. And both of them have some interesting information.
In Dutch, edery.org.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.